Hey guys, it's YOU WACK, and can you believe that you're in the same timeline where it's possible to experience Overwatch, the multiplayer experience AAA title brought to you by Blizzard Entertainment on possibly the portable device known as the Nintendo Switch, and or the video game character known as D.va possibly be a featured Smash Bros. DLC character? Yeah, I think we're lucky to be living during this time. Now you're probably sitting there and be like, whoa YOU WACK, didn't know you stored your bananas in your pants. What's going on? And I'll tell you, little Jimmy, because this is the most exciting time to be an Overwatch fan. Not necessarily a Super Smash Bros. Fan, which I totally understand, but as an Overwatch fan, this is a great time to be living. The fact that Overwatch could be ported over onto the Nintendo Switch, a portable handheld console where we can play multiplayer and get salty and toxic while sitting on the toilet, and then to even hear the rumors and speculations of D.va being the next DLC character, it's like, so let me just kind of explain everything. First, let's talk about Overwatch possibly being ported over onto the Nintendo Switch, because this has been something that so many people have been asking about for months, if not years, ever since the Nintendo Switch first got announced. As you guys might or might not know, the Nintendo Switch does have online capability, most notable with Splatoon 2 and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, is it good? No, it's not at all good. Anybody that plays Smash Bros. Online knows that it's terrible, but you only pay $20 a year, but you sure as heck get $20 a year worth of online capabilities. But it's at least possible when referring to Overwatch being playable on the Nintendo Switch, because Overwatch is literally an online only video game. So would Overwatch's online work on the Switch? Yes. Would it work well? Probably not, but it'll still work in theory. But where is all this speculation coming from? If we've been wanting it for months now, why is it just now starting to come up in conversation? Well, just recently, there's been 2 leaked merchandise inspired from Overwatch relating to the Nintendo Switch. Most notably, this first one, which is an Overwatch-inspired carrying case for the Switch. Now, after this was listed, it was quickly delisted because, come on now, a video game that is not at all related to Nintendo, let alone a Switch, is now being inspired with a carrying case? So that just screams something is going to be happening between Overwatch and the Switch, which it just leads me to believe, how is it going to work? Because while yes, there are games like LA Noire and Doom and even Diablo from Blizzard being run on the Nintendo Switch beautifully, those games are either years old or being run on mobile devices such as Fortnite. So when you really think about it, while Overwatch really isn't a graphically intensive game, it's still a game that was made in recent years and has not made its way on mobile devices, something that is somehow on par with the Nintendo Switch. But if you weren't yet sold on the idea of Overwatch possibly being ported over to the Nintendo Switch based on a carrying case inspired from Overwatch, then take a look at this next item, because there was also another item involving the Pro Controller for the Switch being listed with a theme inspired from D.va from Overwatch. Once again, just another idea that something is happening between Nintendo and Blizzard. But once again, if you think about it realistically or negatively, Overwatch came out in the middle of 2016, where the hardware for the Switch came out at the beginning of 2017. They weren't developing Overwatch for the hardware for the Switch because it wasn't out yet, let alone conceived. They were making it for PC and for consoles that had been on the market for years. But that was 3 years ago, and typically when it comes to porting over games, it's a lot faster because they don't have to remake the game. They already have the foundation of Overwatch. And while sure, it might be a little bit more difficult because it's an online game, it's still a port at the end of the game. They don't have to remake it. So if Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze can be ported over in a very short span, I'm pretty sure 3 years for a AAA developer such as Blizzard could easily remake and reestablish this game for the Nintendo Switch, hardware that has been on the market for years now. But what if a port isn't even in order? Let's just kind of take that idea out of our heads momentarily and replace it with an even crazier idea, but still an idea that can work out at the end of the day and would be a lot more simpler, because now there's rumors coming about of a possible DLC character coming from the Overwatch franchise, most notably D.va being the next DLC character in Smash Bros. Ultimate. If you remember that Pro Controller inspired from D.va that I talked about a little bit earlier on in this video, this next post would lead you to just believe that, hey, maybe D.va would be a viable character in Smash Bros. Ultimate, because there was an anonymous post on 4chan which ooh, 4chan being my source of information. I know I look silly, and please take this with a grain of salt because 4chan is not at all a reliable source, but it's still a post that feeds into this idea of D.va being a DLC character. But the anonymous post that was posted on Sunday says on September 12th, there's going to be a new character release, and she's not at all wanted. She's not only going to confuse, but also disappoint a lot of people. And when you really think about it, yeah, D.va being a Smash Bros. Character would confuse so many people, but especially disappoint a lot of people in Smash because there are so many DLC characters that are wanted. Steve from Minecraft, and I'm not even kidding, that's a DLC character people want. Master Chief from Halo, because now Microsoft and Nintendo are playing nice. And most notably, Waluigi, because he's been an assist trophy for so long, and for some reason, people want to be a playable character. If Wario can be, Waluigi can. But there was another post that was posted earlier on Tuesday afternoon from the same anonymous user that says that this female character is gonna have a mech. Who else has a mecha in the video? D.va, bruh. D.va. She has her own pro controller that was delisted. There was a carrying case from Overwatch. There's going to be a new female character that uses a mecha. D.va, it's possible that she could be a DLC character to promote Overwatch being a port on Switch, or just a DLC character and no port. But could you imagine both of these happening? I know the Smash Bros. Community does not want this because they want tons of other DLC characters, but come on now. That would be so dope for the Overwatch community. While you can easily have other female characters like Cookie Mama or Miss Pac-Man being added in the game that can also confuse and disappoint a lot of people because you have the likes of Master Chief and Waluigi being demanded characters into the game, D.va would also be one of those characters that would kind of make sense, especially with the demand of Overwatch wanting to be onto the Nintendo Switch. Well, what better way to market Overwatch being on the Nintendo Switch than making it a character in the most popular video game on the Switch alone, which is Super Smash Bros., which has been known to promote video games in the form of Smash Bros. Characters ever since Melee. If you remember Morph and Rory, you remember that they were Fire Emblem characters, but before Melee, nobody knew what Fire Emblem was before Melee. It was popular in Japan, everybody knew about it there, but the point of those characters being in Melee was to promote Fire Emblem and to get that franchise known. And as soon as Melee came out, everybody knew about the RPG franchise. And then when you look at Super Smash Bros. Brawl with the likes of Snake and Sonic, that just showed that anybody could be a Smash Bros. Character. And then in Smash 4, they introduced Bayonetta, a very broken character that nobody liked and that actually broke Smash 4, but it was used to promote Bayonetta, the new franchise. Here, it would be no different. D.va being in the game, while it would be a very ginormous character, we have the likes of Bowser and Ridley already programmed into the game, so to have a pink mecha in the game that is clearly distinguished from the rest of the roster would somewhat make sense. It would be crazy, but again, we have freaking Snake in the game, dude. Like, why would D.va be crazy at that point, bro? Well, this is an idea that's not going to be liked by everybody, more specifically the Smash Bros. Community. This is an idea that, from a business standpoint, definitely makes sense. To have a video game character to help promote a new port, possibly promote a new port, it could just be a DLC character that's not only going to sell more copies of Ultimate, but also sell more copies of the Switch itself, and also make Overwatch and Blizzard and Nintendo a boatload of money. Yeah! Why wouldn't they do all this? Plus, they could sell merchandise to the likes of the Smash Bros. Community and the Overwatch community. You can double dip in a bunch of communities that don't really know of each other that much. I don't see why Blizzard wouldn't do it. But there's one more thing that you might be forgetting, and that is BlizzCon 2019. BlizzCon takes place at the beginning of November, and Blizzard needs that one thing, that one crazy idea that they can announce that would just make the whole thing memorable. And the fact that they could possibly have Masahiro Sakurai and Jeff Kaplan alongside to announce DLC character featuring D.va and a new port of Overwatch coming onto the Switch would be the greatest announcement in not BlizzCon's history, and not Blizzard's history, not Nintendo. Well, I mean, Nintendo has had a lot of crazy announcements, most notably with Banjo-Kazooie being a DLC character, but the whole video game world as a whole, that just crossed two of the most popular video game competitive franchises into one in the form of a D.va DLC character and a port coming to Overwatch. Wouldn't that be crazy, man? Whether this is real or whether this is fake, I love this idea because you have no idea how big of a Nintendo fanboy I am. My first console that I truly owned was a GameCube, and I played Melee, I played Mario Kart, I played so many games on that thing, and then I got the Wii, and then I got the Wii U a few years later, and then now just recently I got the Switch on opening day, my first opening day console, and I don't get to ever play it because I'm playing Overwatch. Well, now my two favorite things start to cross over. Possibly, whether it's a DLC character, whether it's a port, doesn't matter. I'm just so happy that this is a possibility, and you can tell in my voice that I want this to happen so bad because I would kill so many people online, bro, because everyone's gonna be like 9 years old, and I'm gonna be tearing through people with my soldier in May, dog. I can't wait for something to be announced, whether it's on September 12th, whether it's at BlizzCon, whatever happens, it's gonna be so sick. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think about all this speculations, and I'll see you on September 12th or at BlizzCon, and we'll pick up from there. I love you guys, and bye.